Being original on YouTube is hard. Not just because of the sheer amount of channels out there already doing things you might have thought about, but because when you finally come up with something new and unique, something that you care about, something that hasn't been done before, you face the frightening reality that keeps mainstream media platforms from trying new things. Your idea hasn't been tested yet. If you make something new and put it before an audience, there's no telling how they'll react. Following somebody else's success by trying to mimic them, model your look and appearance after theirs, and compete with them instead of creating your own identity is a terrible, insulting practice that deserves no love or respect. But YouTube is covered in channels that do precisely that, because the fear people have of doing something unique outweighs the guilt of becoming a clone. It's a sad state of affairs. Too often, admirers will choose the path of imitation instead of inspiration. And the more clones there are filling the room, the more newcomers will be convinced that there is no place for truly new and original material. Doing something new takes nerves of steel, and doing something new and unique when you've already established yourself doing something else takes bravery beyond comprehension. Jordan Underneath is a channel that's been around since January of 2013, run by a creator and host going under the same name. Jordan is widely known across YouTube for providing analysis and review videos for dark, abstract, and humorous fictional media, mainly in the field of indie games. If you've ever heard of the games Yume Nikki, Dreaming Mary, and The Cat Lady, Jordan Underneath is probably the reason why. He's also the reason I can't make a video on Courage the Cowardly Dog, along with constant collaborator and friend Nick Spheres, because the two of them did way too well covering all the bases on Courage and took any words I could say right out of my mouth. Jordan Underneath is someone I've always considered a peer in the field we both inhabit. While I cover indie video content, he tends to indie games, an area that I seldom take a look at. And with Jordan around doing such an excellent job of it, I've never truly felt a need to cover media in his territory. I've been a fan and appreciator of his work for a while, watching his reviews come along with plenty of insightful comments and offbeat humor. But like most fans, I began to wonder just what was going on a few months ago when reviews began to stop appearing in favor of, skits, clips, side performances. It wasn't clear precisely what subscribers were being shown in new uploads, or even what to call the new uploads. Jordan has always played into a characterized version of himself when making content, but the string of videos that began with "Have a Better Day" took it to a new direction entirely, making Jordan Underneath more of a side character who observed odd things happening around him that took center stage. Weird, foreboding creatures of all kinds would appear, offering promises of an impending demise and also getting a laugh out of the viewer.
Ow!
One day, the insects are going to eat you.
Just like the insects ate us.
One day, the insects are going to eat you.
Or your body will turn to dust. Wait, come back! What is it?
It wasn't odd to see stuff like this from Jordan Underneath. If you watch any of his older videos, you'll be given plenty of side skits like these. What was odd was the apparent focus on doing only this, while viewers knew that a review was probably due to arrive at any moment. But that review just didn't come. Instead, it was more of Jordan and his odd, dark-humored performances, until one day, Jordan stopped appearing in them entirely.
What's that place over there?
That place is empty. No one lives there.
What happened to the people who lived there?
Like all things that were once living, they ultimately became replaced by emptiness.
Wait, what does that mean?
They died or something.
Oh. Well, that sounds really sad.
It is not sad. It is simply the way things are.
Well, can we go explore that place and see what's inside it?
Absolutely not. It would not be worth our time.
As a viewer during that time, I suspected that the direction of the channel had turned for good. The arrival of the biggest video since the new trend of uploads began, This Is My House, confirmed what I felt. Clocking in at 9 minutes, 7 seconds, This Is My House is like an episode from a lost TV show you would read about in a creepypasta story and actually want to see. Taken far away from this world and planted into an abstract wasteland of bright colors against a pitch-black background, we're held hostage as a purple puppet monster forces us on a tour of his home, meanwhile displaying how gross and horrible his body can be from any angle.
This is my house. I often find it hard to fit through the front door, but if I stick out my second tongue, I can almost reach inside.
The purple monster is proud to show us all around his home, which is much smaller than his own body on the outside, but turns out to be absolutely massive once you gain access through a secret tunnel. We see objects, knickknacks, and crazy furniture painted over and remade with various colors of paint and craft materials. There is no rhyme or reason to the monster's collection. He just has all of these things, and he doesn't even know what they are.
This is where I keep this thing. This is where I keep this thing. This is where I keep these things. And this is where I keep the food. Oh, the food. It looks so tasty. It almost makes me hungry.
And it seems the monster does get hungry, as we see during his next stop in a very exciting area. The holding cages, where he's keeping 2 children captive. What happens from here is a scene that's so perfect in displaying the crossroads of humor and horror in Jordan's work that I just have to play it for you.
How did we even end up here?
Don't you remember? Last night, that giant tongue, our bedroom window.
No, this can't be real. We have to be dreaming.
Be quiet, it's gonna hear you.
How come I never get to be part of conversations? Oh, are you trapped in a cage? Let me fix that for you. I don't know why I invited you two over. I guess I just felt lonely, and then I forgot. I hate most people.
Please, let me and my sister go.
Let you and your sister go? But that wouldn't make any sense. Everything in my house belongs to me.
So much just happened in that one scene that really gets to you as a viewer. It was horrifying, hilarious, tense, nerve-wracking, morbid, and as silly as a cartoon. The emotions you experience watching that encounter can be found all throughout these videos, and somehow, it keeps taking you by surprise. What is a bit harder to come across is something I love just as much as a blend of horror and humor. A thought-provoking sense of being in a very dark, open universe full of things you can't possibly imagine. The easiest reference to pull here would be the work of H.P. Lovecraft with his cosmic horror tales. But if you want an influence that's much closer to home than this, look no further than Jordan's video on the game Yume Nikki.
Yume Nikki is my favorite video game of all time in the whole world, ever. And if you've never played it, you might not like it, it's kinda weird. Yeah, it's kinda weird. It's a free downloadable surreal exploration game made in RPG Maker, released way back in 2004 by the mysterious Japanese developer Kikiyama. At best, it's an underground cult classic. But if you want to really get down to what makes this game so special to people, and what certainly makes it special to me, I'd say it's the unique and almost indescribable connection it makes with the player. I've played a lot of games. I've played a lot of weird games, but I have never played anything that resonates with me as personally, hits me as hard in the loneliness and the unusual relatable feels as Yume Nikki. This right here is pretty much the entire game. And God, I love it. Way more than I should. Someone take me to a therapist. The point of the game is to explore the massive open-ended spooky dream world inside Marotsuki's head. And it is huge. It starts out in this circular nexus with 12 doors. Each door leads to a different world, a different dream. And right from the beginning, you can go pretty much anywhere you want, any way you want. And it's very easy to get lost. Hello, glowy eyes. How are you tonight? It's extremely slow, very ambient and atmospheric. It plays a lot like the old bizarre PS1 title LSD Dream Emulator. There's no direction, there's no dialogue, there's no real gameplay. But hey, there are a lot of strange entities you can find. Like this guy. He doesn't really do anything. He's just kinda there. He's pretty neat though, right? Or how about this one? Fans call this one QQ-kun. He doesn't do anything either, but he's very cute.
As you can see from just a few sections of that video, Yume Nikki's influence is all over This Is My House and the other videos that have appeared. Jordan's love for abstract, empty worlds inhabited by unimaginable monsters and oddities clearly shows here, and influence from other games like Dreaming Mary and Albino Lullaby tends to bleed through. But even when I can see where the influence is coming from, I can admire and praise it, because it's not just somebody who loves something lifting source material. What Jordan is executing is a perfect display of inspiration over imitation. Everything you can clearly see that he loves is present in the work, but it's the spirit of what he loves that's being used, not the exact thing that carried the spirit in the source material. Jordan is being original, unique, and is doing so while still being inspired by what's come before him. What his new videos remind me of most is something I mentioned earlier that Jordan has covered: Courage the Cowardly Dog. This was a completely unexpected effect of his work, but Jordan has somehow filled a void I've felt over the absence of courage in shows like Billy and Mandy. I can't fully explain it because it's really not like those old Cartoon Network shows, but totally is. And even though we don't have real developed characters, genuine plots, or a true sense of where we are and what's happening, I enjoy the videos being uploaded just as much and look forward to more. The way I feel while thinking about looking up an old episode of Courage is really close to how I feel watching new videos by Jordan Underneath. Truly bizarre, outlandish, and darkly humorous, I highly recommend checking out Jordan Underneath. His old stuff covering media is great, and his new stuff is great in totally different ways. They provide senses and feelings that provoke your imagination and the appeal for morbid content like nothing else on YouTube, while also providing remarkable subtext on themes and ideas you might not expect. Given a bigger budget, I can't even imagine what we might get. I'd like to see what would happen though, and between that desire and a real sense of being proud of somebody for the work they've done, I guess that's why I've decided to become a Patreon supporter of Jordan Underneath and contribute $75 a month to his efforts. There we have it, everyone. The very first recipient of the Nightmind Creators Fund has arrived. I think it's pretty well deserved. And if any of you check out Jordan's content and feel the same way I do, I think that any donation amount sent his way will be greatly appreciated. After all, it looks like it takes a lot of paint cans in order to make Jordan's new material, and paint is not exactly cheap. I've purposely decided not to cover the videos after This Is My House because I don't want to spoil the fun. They're great, especially the sequel to This Is My House that just came out, This Is My Girlfriend. If you're even the least bit interested in what I've shown you here, please do check out Jordan Underneath and enjoy the latest videos. Major thanks to all of you for watching and all of my supporters on Patreon, who make it possible for me to pass the love along and support creators like Jordan Underneath in their efforts to bring more Nightmind material to YouTube. Major thanks as well goes to Jordan for being brave enough to take the direction that he has. It's not easy to switch gears in the manner that he did, but what we're getting now is fantastic material that I'm glad he took a chance on. Whenever I watch one of Jordan's new videos, I feel inspired as a creator, and because of that kind of feeling, I knew I had to cover this and share it with all of you. Thanks for joining me in the dark again this evening. Once more, I'm Nick Nocturne, and like a monster in the shadows you thought you'd gone away from, I'll be back again real soon. Sleep tight.